inclusive, and we are so excited to have all of you join us today. Accessibility is so important in the state of Rhode Island and beyond, but let's make the state of Rhode Island the leader in accessibility across the board. What RAMP does is we educate and advocate for accessibility for events, organizations, and businesses. If you let 40% of your population into your businesses, we could literally save the economy. So let's make it a reality, and that's what this is all about today. Every one of our vendors here today is either disabled or has a direct relationship to the disability community. As you walk through this room and see the jewelry, the artwork, the crafts, the skills that everybody has here today, there's no doubt about it that we're just like everybody else. We just get there a little bit differently. So again, welcome to Accessibility is Beautiful 2023, and let's get the party started. We are so fortunate here in the state of Rhode Island to have our elected officials, our high-ranking elected officials, fully on board with what RAMP does, and they are fully inclusive to everything we do. We have representatives from the Lieutenant Governor's office here with us today. Thank you for coming. And I'd like to introduce to you our first speaker of the day, which is our Senator, Sheldon Whitehouse, who has been at every single one of our events, and we can't thank him enough. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you, Tina. Always good to be with you, and maybe we'll be back outdoors when the weather looks better in the future, but
Absolutely.
Fall in New England is tough. Thank you all for being here. It's really terrific. We're working very hard to make sure that, first of all, everybody celebrates the 33rd anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Second, to see that disability compensation goes up, Social Security disability goes up, and to try to bring Rhode Island into compliance with the law. It's one of the few states that has still got a little bit of work to do before they land. And if there are other things that we can help with, please don't hesitate to ask. One of the things that my office does, other than fight for policy changes in Washington, along with my colleague Seth Magaziner, who's over in the, I'll let him describe with adjectives what the House is right now. What we do in Washington is try to fight on the big policy issues, but we also do a lot of constituent service. And if we can help with constituent service, please don't help to make sure that you use our offices. We work with Kasim on veterans issues. We work with Bob Da Silva in East Providence on issues. We do a lot of work, and hope that we can be helpful in any way. Thank you for having me. Good to be with you.
Thank you so much.
He's slow, I'm sure. It's a problem. But we would like to welcome for the first time here at Accessibility is Beautiful, our brand new Congressman, Seth Magaziner. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tina. I want to first recognize you for your incredible leadership, not just in pulling this event together, but in being a great advocate and spokesperson and convener all across the state of Rhode Island to improve accessibility. Thank you so much for everything you do. To all of my colleagues in government who are here, this is one of the wonderful things about Rhode Island is that we have leaders who show up. Senator Whitehouse, Mayor Da Silva, from the administration, Kasim Yarn and Maria Samini and others. I know Senator Reed is on his way. It's really great to see that we have leaders in Rhode Island who show up and who make this a priority. When I was state treasurer, before I was in Congress, we started a program called the ABLE program, which allows Rhode Islanders with disabilities to save money and invest money and keep bank accounts without triggering the freeze of benefits under SSDI. Because we think it's very important that everyone have the ability to do this, to use their talent, to use their creativity, to do things that are entrepreneurial and not have to worry that benefits might be frozen. And so since we started that program, I know hundreds of people have enrolled in the Rhode Island Disabled program. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you all to check it out. But in the meantime, I'm committed to working with Sheldon and Jack in Washington to make sure that we do everything we can to help those benefits keep up with the cost of living and to make them easier to access too. I co-sponsored a bill that would eliminate the 5-month wait period in order for those SSDI benefits to begin. And we're always looking for feedback for other ways that we can be helpful to do more, to make it easier for people to not just get by, but to be creative, to be entrepreneurial, and to make contributions to our state and to our community. So thank you all so very much for being a part of this. It's an honor to be here with all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
My chair doesn't stop when I do. That's a problem. I'm so honored that we have, like I said, all of our politicians, but I'm going to introduce to you a couple of mayors who get the privilege of having one of Tina's tables donated to them this year. So we're going to start with Mayor Bob De Silva of East Providence to tell you a little bit about what accessibility means to East Providence and what the table that he's getting shortly means to him.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tina. Look, first I want to start off by acknowledging this great group of supporters that you have here working to support your vision for accessibility for everyone. Congressman Magaziner, Senator Whitehouse, the great mayor of Providence, Brett Smiley, a great friend of mine, and also we have my former colleague at the State House, Maria Samini, who's the director of the Office of Healthy Aging, Kasim Yan, of course, and I see Representative Leo Felix, who's advocating for all of us at all times at the State House. So we are very fortunate. We were selected, East Providence was selected to have one of Tina's accessibility tables, and we're going to be placing it right on City Hall Plaza on Taunton Avenue. And we're excited about it because we are very strong advocates, our administration, to bring accessibility to everyone in all walks of life. No matter what it may be, we want people to feel welcome in our community. We want people to feel that we're doing what we can to make life easier for everyone. And this table, what's wonderful about the table, is going to be placed on our City Hall Plaza across from some very busy and thriving businesses. And now people, when they go to visit the businesses, will have a place to sit down and have their lunch and relax, and it'll be accessible to everyone. So Tina, I want to thank you for all the advocacy that you do. You're incredible. I love seeing all the things you're doing. And you're recognized not only here in Rhode Island, but nationwide for all of your advances. So we are so proud of you. We're so proud to have a table going in East Providence. We're going to be doing a ribbon cutting on the 8th of November at 3 o'clock. So we hope that all of you will be able to join us and keep up the great work. Tina. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mayor De Silva has been always a big supporter of mine and why they are here. Another one who is getting a table, but they're getting a little bit of a special table. They don't know exactly what the table looks like, but I'm going to invite up Director Yarn at the Veterans Home first, because we're going to talk about the table, and then we're going to get to, he's going to have his own moment. Come on, Director.
We share the road, folks. Good afternoon. You know, accessibility is beautiful. It's beautiful because you're beautiful. We need to do a better job at celebrating each other and understand that, you know, we all have some form of a struggle. But it's about sharing our stories collectively, because this is who we are in Rhode Islanders. Common thread, common bond, community engagement, interceding and advocating on behalf of others. We also need to advocate for ourselves. We can't ask for a better spokesperson than Tina, so please give her another round of applause. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. So as I talk about how taking a look in the mirror, we have got to do a better job of being comfortable with the person that we see. Nobody else can dictate that narrative other than you, but take that step. And our collective job, our civic duty, is to take that step with you. Now, word of caution, because this is life. We know it's going to be challenges along the road, but we get the right people in the room. The governor always talks about a congressional delegation and leading the efforts, and we're thankful. But the governor also talks about, it's about communities. All 39 cities and towns working together. East Providence, all 39 cities and towns addressing these issues head on. But this is a good day because we're here together to advocate for each other, but also to let's advocate for ourselves. God bless you. I love you. Tina, floor is yours.
I want to now introduce somebody who's very important to me, and I saved him because before Mayor Smiley became mayor in Providence, we had a lot of conversations. He invited me into his office, and what my half-hour meeting with him ended up going 2.5 hours, because you know me, I don't shut up. And he was very polite and did not tell me to be quiet because he was very interested in what I had to say, and he was very interested, and it's one of his top priorities in the city of Providence. If we can make the historic city of Providence fully accessible, we can do it anywhere else. And he is making it a priority, and that's why he holds a special place to me. So thank you, Mayor Smiley, and now the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tina. Hello, everybody. We're so honored that the great mayor of East Providence took one bridge to be here today. Bob, thank you for coming to Providence. It's the honor is really ours. So to all my colleagues in government, we appreciate you coming out here to show support, and obviously to Tina and all the advocates and vendors today to help make this a success. I recently spoke at an event at the convention center that Tina was on a panel for, and it was a convention and a seminar around minority participation in business, and the question had something to do with something like, do you ever feel like your voice isn't heard, or do you have a hard time, claiming your space? And Tina said, I don't have that problem. I insist that my voice gets heard. I speak up and tell people, listen. And so that kind of advocacy, we can see the fruits of that labor. And so well done, congratulations on what you've done to make Rhode Island more accessible to all. And thank you for the introduction, because we have been trying to take this very seriously, and we know we've got work to do here in Providence. And so just this year, since I've been elected, I'm excited to say that now every summer pool, every pool in the city of Providence now has accessible chairs so that all residents can enjoy our pools in the summer. One of our central rec centers, Jocelyn Rec Center, we've installed an elevator to make sure that it is accessible to the whole community. And Jocelyn, which is in Olneyville, is also going to become one of our resiliency hubs. And so with partnership in the federal delegation, we're applying for quite a few grants to make both the Jocelyn Rec Center and a facility on the south side resiliency hubs, as we're all living through the realities of climate change and more cold days and more high heat days and more flooding. Our rec centers are going to become more important than ever as they become resiliency hubs in the city of Providence, and would not be a resiliency hub if our whole entire community could not access it. And so we're making those investments. We have a brand new playground at Asa Messel Elementary School with a fully accessible playground, which is super exciting. And that is and those design elements are getting incorporated into every new park and playground that we build in the city of Providence. And as we work to do future infrastructure plans, and for those of you who are from Providence, that the basics of streets and sidewalks are the thing that wake me up in the morning. We know that those are sometimes the smallest and yet biggest challenges that we have to make sure that our incredible, beautiful, historic city can be enjoyed by all. And so know that that priority will remain, and that all of our design elements will be inclusive of the whole breadth of abilities in our community. I want to close by just thanking our host today, Keith Oliveira and Times 2 Academy. Keith's the new principal here, but a longtime education leader. Times 2 is a really important part of the education infrastructure here in Providence. I was here a week ago for a different event, and I can already see a change in how available this school has become for community events, in addition to the important education that happens here throughout the school year and throughout the week. So thank you, Keith.
I know I'm putting her on the spot, but we also have the director of Rhode Island Healthy Aging today. So I know most people, when they think of disability and accessibility, they think of the disability community, but what they don't think about is our aging population, which is more than half of Rhode Island's population. most of them are using some kind of mobility aid. So I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I know you like me, always have something to say.
I do always have something to say. Thank you,
That's
Tina.
how we get along.
That's right. Good afternoon. Thank you, Tina, for the invitation. I'm Maria Samini, the Director of the Office of Healthy Aging. And what's interesting about the Office of Healthy Aging is that it used to be known as the Department of Elderly Affairs. And its name was changed to reflect that we all are working towards living as long and as well as we can and being healthy as we do so. And in the law, even when we were known as the Department of Elderly Affairs, we were expected to be the advocates, not just for older adults, but also for adults with disabilities. Because accessibility and inclusion of all Rhode Islanders in all of our spaces should be the goal of what we do in government, to be sure that everyone is welcomed and everybody is able to participate how they wish to in the way that they are able to. And because of that, at the Office of Healthy Aging, we spend a lot of time informing conversations around housing, around transportation, talking about accessibility in those spaces. This year, Tina actually inspired two things. One is that just before we did a statewide survey of older adults in Rhode Island, where over 1,000 people participated, Tina shared with me about asking how many people are using mobility devices. And so we put that question in our survey. And now we know from the 1,000 Rhode Islanders who responded that over a third of Rhode Islanders over the age of 60 use a mobility device to get around in the community. And we wouldn't have known that without Tina reminding me that these are important things to ask. Next year, we're also going to ask about hearing devices. But also, because of Tina and the great relationship that she and I have formed, we've put into all of our requirements for our granting partners that they include goals related to accessibility and plans related to accessibility in their work that they're doing in the community. So not only are we asking to be sure that everyone has a line item for translation so that people for whom English is not their first or most comfortable language can fully participate in their work, we're also asking them to consider accessibility in all that they're doing, so that in all of our 39 cities and towns where people are getting the services and building the community, they have the ability to participate fully. So thank you, Tina, for inviting me up today, and thank you for bringing us all together. Thank you.
One thing that a lot of people may not know is disability is the largest minority in the world. Not the country, the world. And it's the only minority that doesn't discriminate across the board. It is in every community. And also the only one that anyone can join at any time. I joined it in just 5 minutes 9 years ago when I suffered a spinal stroke during a minor procedure. That's how I became paralyzed. So if we're not thinking about accessibility now, when you or a loved one end up like me or using some kind of device, the world will not be accessible to them. Do you need that extra barrier? One of my other favorite people in Rhode Island, because he was the first person when RAMP became organization, he let me scout out his business and make his business fully accessible. And now when he built a new business in Massachusetts, the entire business is 100% fully accessible. So now I can play, drink, dance, and enjoy just like everybody else. So one of my heroes is Anthony Sanchuri, the owner of Free Play in the Coliseum in Providence.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see all of you again today, many of you, every year here. As Tina said, I'm a small business owner in the city of Providence. Love my city, love my state. But I branched out to Massachusetts with another location. And one of the greatest things was meeting Tina at a local neighborhood association event. She was sitting in the room, and she was there joining our neighborhood association in Providence. And she spoke, and later I went up to her. Little did I know when I went up to her to say, great job, thanks, it would lead to Tina helping me understand a community that I wanted to. My business partners wanted to. We wanted to do what we needed to do, but we didn't know exactly. So I had her come by and do a roll through, as she told me. It was a roll through. And there were things, minor things that needed to be fixed, and some that couldn't be. We're challenged with some of our buildings, you know, and properties. So there are limits to what you can do with an existing one. We made those modifications. When we went to Massachusetts, we were able to gut out an entire space. Tina came by again, once again, introducing me to what needs to be done so that every part of this became accessible. One of the joys of being a small business owner is when you can say, when someone's booking an event, as many of us know here, or wants to bring something to you, is you can be very proud when you say, we're fully accessible. It covers it all. No need to worry about anything or anyone being left out. No more discussion after that. It's open, it's available, and it's here for everyone. So I want to say again, I appreciate all of this. Tina is a champion of a community. She has been at Rhode Island Pride when I was on the board, we tried to make it more accessible. She has recently in the past and present been at PVD Fest to make it more accessible. Each time we as individual business owners, we as communities, we as a city, decide to do something for our community, accessibility, that component is so important. And when we have a champion like Tina to be there with us, we all grow and do it right and learn more. So I want to thank you, Tina. And I want to echo what Congressman Magazine has said. We are very fortunate in this state to have the elected officials that we have year in and year out who show up at this event and others. This doesn't happen everywhere. Maybe we take it for granted. Maybe it's because we are small and sometimes we say we're so small. We know everyone, so we can pick up the phone. The only thing I want from you, Tina, left is I want to find out how to get a half-an-hour meeting with Mayor Smiley turned into a 2.5-hour meeting without him telling you to shut up. I haven't been able to do that.
That's a one-time special exception.
Okay, then I'll try to get 15 minutes. Thanks, everyone.
They never stop the disabled person, it just looks bad. So, we get to say what we want. But no, it's true. If every business became accessible and every business had the forthcoming, one thing that I am proud of, I was appointed to the United States Access Board this summer, which now I have federal say and state say, which we are fortunate here in the state of Rhode Island, how accessible. When I go to those meetings and everybody's like, I'm 4 hours from my senator, or I'm 5 hours from this person, I'm like, I can call them up and be in their office in 10 minutes. We're so fortunate for what we have. So if we can make Rhode Island the gold star accessible state, let everybody else follow us. Here's some prize that I have with Rhode Island. We are the only state in the country that has a home modification grant that gives every homeowner $4,500 to age in place and make their home accessible. That's something to be proud of. What I'm more proud of, we are the only state in the country that gives every business $5,000 free and clear to do something to make them ADA compliant. Let them follow us. Let us be the leaders and let them follow us. I cannot thank every one of the speakers here. I can't thank Keith enough, who opened the doors to this school when we got rained out by Ophelia. He stepped right up. I rolled right into his office. I'm moving into his office because it's awesome. But he stepped right up and donated the school without even a hesitation, and this school is fully accessible. So I would like to take a quick picture with all of the politicians that came out today, and then I want to move on. We do have a award ceremony. There's one other person that I would like to say a few words, and I know I'm going to put him on the spot, but he loves me too. Is the one who hosts this event every year with us, Howie Schneider, because without Howie and the Steelyard, I couldn't do what I do. I love putting you on the spot.
Well, thank you, Tina. Thank you to the board of RAMP for everything you do for the community, for the honor of being invited up here to speak. I really feel like this event was created from the beginning to celebrate what creativity means to the whole community and what accessibility means in creative spaces. We've been a proud partner at the Steelyard for many years. Again, our relationship with Tina started with a roll through and just an inspiring conversation to help make access to ceramics, jewelry, blacksmithing, and welding classes at our community shop available to everyone, including Tina, who welded on the very first Tina's Table, was our first welder in a wheelchair.
It wasn't pretty, but I did it.
And thank you also to all of the artists and craftspeople who came out today to share your work. It is amazing to see what everyone is accomplishing. And we as a community need to do better to make sure that accommodations are made so that everyone can be part of the arts and cultural facilities and programming that we have as a community. So thank you, Tina. Thanks, everybody. And see you next year at the Steelyard.
Here, but we do like our outside. So if I could invite everybody up to take a quick picture that spoke today. How are you? You can't go anywhere. And then we're going to continue on because we have some awards, so nobody go anywhere. Yeah.